Welcome to We Need to Talk Now. I'm Alicia Jay, and let me tell you something. We are here with a legend. I am just awestruck right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Cynthia Cooper. I don't even have words.
You know what? The pleasure is all mine.
Well, we're here in Tampa live at, the tournament, obviously. And you know a little bit about the tournament. You definitely played and got your championships. What would your advice be to the players who are playing tonight?
You know what, my advice would be simply to rely on your training, rely on your coaching, rely on the coaching plan that they put together for this tournament. Don't get outside of yourself. Don't get extra nervous, because guess what? At the end of the day, this is basketball.
Sure
We're playing basketball, the game that we love, the game that we've worked so hard to get to this point with. And so for me, I always wanted to stay within myself and use all that negative energy or that nervous energy, channel it into a positive way and do something good. Do something like play defense harder or focus on your free throws. Really focus that energy in that area so that your game shines. That you bring your A game without worrying about the nerves.
Listen, advice straight from a legend, okay? So take that advice.
Yeah.
I also wanted to know, playing at USC and seeing what happened to Juju, I just wanted to know if you had any words for her specifically and what she's going to go through with her rehab and such.
Yeah. I think that the number one thing, first of all, I was heartbroken when the injury happened. It just broke my heart. So I sent her, a message immediately. It was like, dang, Juju, but you're going to be back. You're going to be back stronger. And I think the number one thing is to worry about yourself for a minute. It's time for you, Juju, to worry about Juju. And take the time that you need to come back better. And I know that she is. I know she has the mentality. I know she has that winning spirit. And I know that she's going to do whatever it takes to not just be the same Juju she was this year, right, in the prior years, but to be better. Come back better, come back stronger, come back ready. And I know that she has that spirit, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, she's certainly going to do that. We all can see that in her.
Yeah.
When you think about, playing in college and when you played and now seeing the game and where it's at, what are you most excited about that has happened within college basketball?
I guess I could say the NIL money, right? But I think I'm most excited about the level of talent. What happens when you have a professional league like the W and all of the success that the W is having, you start to have players that are dreaming of playing professional basketball. But more than dreaming, they're preparing. So now you see a level of talent that was unprecedented both in the NCAA as well as the W, right? And so you get that because now little girls are dreaming of playing professional basketball in America, right? They can dream, they can see, they have role models. You have Unrivaled. You have so many opportunities here, and now you have young girls dreaming and preparing sooner. And so you have more talent, not just in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, but now in the W.
Yeah, so you talked about, it being unprecedented and different and people are dreaming and all of that. There are also a lot of changes. Specifically, I want to talk about the transfer portal. It's been a hot button topic. What are your thoughts on the portal, and do you think that it needs to change in any way?
You know what? I like growth in basketball. And so if the portal is going to allow growth, I'm all for it. I think that they should tone it down a little bit. I like to see players stay with their team for years and years, because you develop relationships that you will have for a lifetime. I mean, I'm still in a group text with all of my teammates from our USC team, right? So I love the fact that the portal is available, giving players options. I love the fact that the NIL is making millionaires out of some of these players. I love where basketball is. I always look at what's the best thing for the growth of the sport. And I think the NIL has done a great job with not just providing these kids with the ability to only think about sports in school, but it's also changing their lives, their family lives, right? And preparing them. Now they're preparing more for the W. And when you get a more prepared player in the W, then you get more success, right? And you have more sponsorship. So I love where it is. I think they're going to have to fine-tune some things in the future, in the very near future. But I love all of the opportunity that it's giving to the athletes.
Yeah, I love the opportunity as well. And we're seeing a lot of opportunity in the games tonight. What are you most looking forward to watching? What do you want to see in these games?
I think what I want to see is the effort right? I want to see the big plays. I want to see the, hey, I knew you could do that, but I'm so glad I saw you do it. I want to see Paige come down behind the back. I love watching the talent in the Final Four. And these games a lot of times come down to one play, one shot, a free throw. And I love seeing players step up to the plate. Love seeing players step into their spotlight. I love it.
Well, who is going to step up the most? Who do you think is going to win it all this year?
Yeah, who's going to step up the most? I'm going to go. There was a time at USC where we were the underdog to win the national championship, that no one knew. It was our first time there. No one knew what we were going to do, how we were going to react to the pressure. So for me, I'm going to go with the UCLA Bruins, which is crazy, right? Because I am a Trojan. Fight on. But I'm going to go with Corey Close getting her team prepared. I'm going to go with them not worrying about the pressure, not worrying about this being the first time, but being their authentic selves and bringing their A game. So I'm going to go with the Bruins. And I'm an LA girl, so,
West Coast.
You got to bet on West Coast.
West Coast for sure. You talked about the Bruins, and obviously you're picking them to win it all. What can you talk specifically about Lauren Betts? She's just been amazing throughout this tournament.
Yeah. Sometimes players are so limited. They're limited in their movement. They're limited in what they give their team. But Lauren has just done a fantastic job. Her footwork is immaculate. She does her work early, so she gets her position early to where she continues to put the pressure on the defense and the and ones and to get into the free throw line. Her movement is what makes her game superior and what separates her from a lot of post players at her size. And I love what she's doing. I love what she continues to. She stays within herself. She doesn't try to be anybody other than who she is as a basketball player, and that has made UCLA a great team, a Final Four team, and possibly a national champion.
Well, I guess we're going to see for sure. And when I think about the players that we're going to be watching, some of them are going to be in the W. We're going to see them play. What are your thoughts about the W overall and where it has come?
Yeah, I think the W is in a fantastic place. I was talking earlier to a few people, and one of the things I think people don't recognize is how the last rookie class bridged the gap that was there between the NCAA and all of the March Madness generated with the NCAA. They bridged that gap to the W. Now they've brought their fans over to the W. Now their fans get a chance to see some of the greatest women basketball players ever, and they get to see one of the best rookie classes ever showcase their talent in the W. So I love where the W is. I love where they're going. I know that they're going to make the right choice with this, the new collective bargaining negotiations. And so I'm just thrilled. Hey, listen, let me tell you something really quick. If I was playing in the W right now, you talk about bringing my A game every single day, it would be done. Bringing it every day. And then if you gave me a chance to play 3-on-3 and unrivaled, come on now. Give me the ball.
I know that's right. Give her the ball, okay? So I'm thinking about, the franchise. You said there's so much change in the W.
Yeah.
There's some expansion teams that could still come out. What do you think about the Houston Comets returning?
Oh, you got to bring the Comets back. You've got to bring the Houston Comets back. It was the first ever dynasty of the W, and so I think you definitely have to bring the Houston Comets back. I love what the W is doing with the franchises and with the new, expansion. Also because we talked about the talent that's in the college and the talent that's in the W. Now you need a place for them. You need a place for that talent. Don't just send them overseas where their fans get a chance to, watch all of our players play their best basketball in their best years, right? Send them to the W. Expand. Get some more teams where we can keep that talent here in America, marketing agreements here in America, and showcase their talent here in front of their family and friends.
Okay, so bring the Comets back.
Bring the Comets back, baby.
Bring them back for sure.
And we still have to give a shout out to my girls, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson. We still have to retire their jerseys. So let's bring the Comets back. Let's retire their jerseys.
Yes, you heard it here. You must do it now, period. Well, you talk about Tina Thompson. You talk about all of these great players. What is your Mount Rushmore of WNBA players?
Can I add myself?
Of course.
There's so many talented players. I would say my Mount Rushmore, I'm going to go ahead and put 3 Trojans on my Mount Rushmore. I'm going to put Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie, and myself.
As
and then
should.
I'm going to add Diana Taurasi. And this last one is tough, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this Maya Moore. I'm going to go with Maya Moore. That way I don't have to play against her.
Well, you definitely can't go wrong with Maya Moore. Now, what about your top 5 point guards of all time?
Top 5 point guards of all time. Oh, gosh, that's a tough one. I will say right now, one of the best point guards in the W is Caitlin Clark. As a rookie, she showcased a lot of different talents, but what I was most impressed with her making her teammates better and still getting that ball to fall from the three-point line, the back doors, to coming off the screens, to with the contact, without the contact. Gosh, that was a tough one. I'm going to have to pass on the top 5, but Chelsea Gray is one of my favorites. Diana Taurasi, I know she plays a 2 guard, but I love it when she handles the ball. I love the ball in her hands. I'm going to go with my girl Kim Perrott. Kim Perrott, because she was the floor general. She led us to a couple of world championships, virtually unknown, but she was able to tame Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, and Tina Thompson. And so, yeah, there are a lot of great talents and great players that you can call on.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about the CBA, and before you go, what is the main thing you think needs to change with the CBA moving forward?
I think, they've already made so many different changes. You got to remember, when I was in the WNBA, we would go to a back-to-back. We would fly commercial. We would fly commercial and still play a back-to-back. And still win that championship, I might add. But anyway, they have chartered flights now. I think health, care is money has always been the central focus, and I want money to continue to be the central focus, but I want you to be able to take care of your players in a different way. So take care of the players' families like they did with the Unrivaled. I think that was fantastic. And also housing, some of these younger players that are just now coming into the W that don't necessarily have the financial situation that some of the veterans do.
Well, you mentioned Unrivaled. How do you think that has changed women's basketball moving forward?
Yeah, I think Unrivaled has changed it in a very positive way. They really catered to the needs of the female basketball player. They didn't just cater to basketball players. They specifically catered to the needs, the unique needs of some female basketball players and their families. So I thought that was incredible. I also love the camaraderie of everybody being in one place and you being able to see these players outside of the court, see their families, meet their families, see what they like to do, things that are familiar with the things that they do outside of basketball, walking the dog, taking care of the kids, playing at the pool. So it's set a new tone. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. Just as the basketball player in me, I would love to play 3-on-3 full court. With a clear lane to the basket? Are you kidding me? With help defense so far away? It's just the street basketball player in me want to do that every single day.
Who would you have had on your 3-on-3 team?
On my 3-on-3 team, I'm going to take Tina Thompson. I'm going to take Asia Wilson. Tina Thompson, Asia Wilson, and I will probably take me somebody like a Stewie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take Stewie. I was going to say Sabrina. But they're kind of right there. There are a few players that I would choose, but I think that's a winning team right there.
That's definitely a winning team, and this was a winning conversation that we had with you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, because you're not going to be able to get these episodes, these special episodes that we had here today with Cynthia Cooper. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Tap in for sure. And this is it right now, live from Tampa. We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T.